adjustments to the scheme. They just have to execute better.
Yeah.
They don't have to make adjustments to a scheme that has them as the worst defense that they've had in 40 fucking years. They just have to execute better. I'm done listening to the hot air that comes out of this fucking guy's mouth.
That's all it really, I felt for, me a lot more than you. I would say I was a part of the Mike Tomlin brainwashing for a very long time. You were off that after the Jaguars game. You were done with him pretty much then. I stayed in the fight. I believed in this guy. He was like a god to me still. But over the years, as I'm getting older, it's pretty much all the way gone. I'm done with the bullshit after the games. This guy, listen to this guy, what he's talking about. This guy's saying, we got to stop settling for field goals. He started the press conference talking about they got to stop settling for field goals early on in the game. Buddy, you rank dead last in fourth down when you're supposed to go for it. That's on you, Pop. That ain't on nobody else. You're the head coach. That's your call. You rank dead last. The game has passed him by, Kevin.
Yep.
You've said it for years. Now I'm starting to say it. The game has passed him by. Would I love to see a turnaround as a fan? Yes. Would I love to see Mike Tomlin shut me and you up? Yes, of course.
I would love to eat crow. I would love to eat crow.
Yes, I would love it. I'd be the first one, hand up. I was wrong. Mike still got it. Mike's winning playoff games now. Mike took us to the AFC Championship game. I don't see that, man, under Mike Tomlin. I don't see it. And the sad part is they bring in a 40-year-old quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. And all everybody's talking about, this offense is going to stink. Aaron Rodgers is dead. He's been one of the only bright spots on this whole entire team.
Oh, Jerry, and Rodgers does his presser yesterday, and he's still calm and cool, and, he says, we're not in a bad spot, and that he still has faith because the team, is trending in the right direction. He feels like offensively. He says all the right stuff, and I love the way Rodgers goes about his business. He does make points where he says he wants to get Jaylen Warren involved more. He thinks Jaylen Warren is one of the best backs in football, loves that he's a lead back now and gets to see what he can do when he's not behind Najee Harris. There's two things that I want to say about that. The Steelers in the first half against that Packers game were gashing the Packers on the ground. They were dominating them, and that's a great Packers run defense that we had said we were worried about. Like it was a great Cleveland run defense we were worried about. And the offensive line does what they had to do, and we were running it down their throats up and down the field. Long drives. You're keeping the Packers on the sideline. In the second half, the Steelers ran the ball 3 fucking times the entire half. 3 times, Jerry.
Yeah.
They don't do what works. They don't do what works.
No, they don't. They don't. And I'm glad Rodgers is saying this now because, even off the podcast, what do we always talk about? You got to be feeding this motherfucker, man. He's one of the only guys on offense that got popped that could turn a 5-yard gain into a 25-yard gain. He's pretty much the only guy on offense aside DK in open space where they could take it to the house, and they just refuse to keep him on the field, dude. They refuse. I don't know what they're scared about, bro. I don't know what it is, but you got to use him more, man. Yeah, and if the run is working, stick with it. Stick with it. They don't shy away from it. You keep their defense on the field. Sure, were we getting field goals early on? Yes. But you're keeping that high-powered Packers offense off the field.
Right.
And you're letting your defense rest.
You know what? Another thing that pisses me off. You're right. He led his press conference off with saying that they need to settle for touchdowns, not field goals. They can't be settling for field goals against teams that score touchdowns. You need 7 instead of 3. There was a point in the first half, maybe second quarter, early second quarter. Steelers are down 7-3. They're at the Packers 32-yard line. It's 4th and 3. They trot Boswell out there instead of going for it. Yeah. That's one of those times. If you want the 7s, reach down and fucking grab them then. Reach down and grab them and go for it then. Yeah. Sure, we can take the field goal 7-6. We score another field goal, score a touchdown at the end of the first half. It's 16-7. Doesn't fucking matter. You need 7s. I tweeted it live during the game. You want to beat this team, you better be settling for 7 instead of 3. So he can say it. He says all the right shit. He always says the right shit. He never coaches aggressively enough to win games like that.
No, and you know what's crazy, Kev? Every guy on that offense wants to go for it. 100%. Especially Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
You know everybody on that offense wants to go. And I'm sure the defense wants them to go for it just as much because they know they don't want to be on the field with Jordan Love and Packers and all these high-powered offenses we're going to play and have played, you know? They want you to go for it. They want you to have the lead so you could fucking pin your ears back and hopefully try to turn this game into Jordan Love, you know, under pressure, having to drop back and throw every time. You know what I mean? So, like, listen, man. He does shit so opposite.
Yep.
He does shit. He challenges when he's not supposed to challenge. He goes for it when he's not supposed to. He doesn't go for it when he's supposed to go for it. The game has passed him by, man. The game has just passed him. I am still so shocked that this offense was getting humiliated all offseason. They're going to suck. They are averaging 20-something points a game. Like 24, 25, right?
25 and a half. 25
Yeah,
and a half.
I mean, if you can't win football games with your offense scoring 25 points with the payroll you have on defense, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, no, so a lot of things that piss me off as I watch that game back are the biggest part for me is they're not playing guys who helped them look like they were turning the corner defensively. Okay, I'm gonna read you some snap counts, and it starts with Nick Herbig. In our last win, which was that Browns game, the defense I thought had their best performance of the season, complete team game. Now you're playing a rookie quarterback, and we were able to stop their run, which they've dominated. You know, we said if you can beat the Browns run game, that's incredible because they have the best run game in football up to that point. Nick Herbig in that game had 50 snaps. Bengals game, 29 snaps. Game on Sunday against the Packers, 24 snaps. It's unacceptable. He's your best pass rusher. He's your most impactful pass rusher. And when people are using the excuse that you need to play Highsmith to stop the run, it doesn't fucking matter. When Herbig was in there, we were stopping the run better. We were rushing the passer better. You go to Derek Harmon then, 48 snaps against the Browns, 43 against the Bengals, 39 against the Packers. Jack Sawyer, 24, 11, 2 snaps. Brandon Eccles. This is the one that drives me up a fucking wall after you see Darius Slay suck dick all game. You have 28 snaps against the Browns, 27 against the Bengals, 9 against the Packers on Sunday.
Oh, my gosh.
Peyton Wilson, 54 snaps, 33 snaps, 43 snaps. So Peyton Wilson's the only one that got 10 more snaps in between any of those games. The rest of that defense who contributed, and we had our best defensive performances, all saw reductions in their snap counts.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to what they're doing. Their coaching makes no fucking sense. What's up, guys? Just want to take a quick second to shout out our friends over at TickPick. You guys see me at the games. You see the seats that I have, the experiences that I get to enjoy, and that's all because of TickPick. If you're looking on the secondary market for tickets to a Steelers game and you're not using TickPick, you're honestly probably paying more than you should have to. There are no fees. It's upfront pricing, and you can use code STEELERS20 for $20 off your first order of game tickets. They're the best in the game, in my opinion, and I want you guys to be able to take advantage of how good their product is. So use TickPick moving forward. Let's get back to the episode.
It's time to ask more of our browser. Hey Copilot, adjust all these recipes for 7 guests and combine them into one cooking schedule. Also, I'm out of milk.
Here's a cooking schedule scaled for 7 guests and also milk-free.
Freedom. You can't play me, rein me in, or try and tame me. It's time to put yourself first. Don't stop believing your worth. Let it rain on you. 'Cause you're fabulous. Hello, Moto.
No, Kat, we've said it in the Bengals game, and we've said it in the Packers game. Both of us, they are just like flip-flopping guys left and right. They don't know what they're doing.
Yep.
They're playing guys. They're not playing guys. They're sitting guys in certain situations. Then they're playing them in the same situation. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, bro. They're completely lost.
Yep.
Completely lost. And I don't see it turning around anytime soon, at least. Also, Nick Herbig is like, I think, top 20 in the NFL in splash plays. He's a backup. He's a backup, and it's like top 20 in splash plays on defense.
Listen to the edge rush snaps against the Packers. Herbig had 11 snaps, 3 pressures. TJ and Highsmith had 4 pressures on 59 snaps.
Wow.
He had 3 pressures and 11. They had 4 total in 59 snaps.
Yeah,
it's
that's not.
it's,
That's
it's
bad.
insane. It's
Yeah.
insane. If you're trading anybody, for me, it's Alex Highsmith.
Yeah.
He's the odd man out. You're not
He
going to
is.
pay Herbig and Highsmith and TJ, and you're
No.
not going to let Herbig walk in free agents.
You can't let him walk. You can't. I'm surprised. Like, how, you know what drives me crazy is how, as fans, and we're not the only Steelers show podcast talking about this. You know, how can we, as fans, just fans of the game, that have a podcast that talk about the Steelers, how do we see all these things and they don't see it? How can't they see this?
They're stubborn. They're stubborn. I've said this for years. They play contracts more than who is playing good and earns playing time. They are obsessed with playing the contracts. That's why Slay is still in there. That's why Highsmith is still in there. It's they do shit backwards, man. They just do. And I listened to Ben say something that has resonated with me for the last day now since he did his podcast. He said when we had a lead, we believed in our coaching staff at the half. They were going to make adjustments and we were going to shut everything down going into the second half and we were going to win the football game. He said, I don't know if they're making adjustments, if they're making the wrong adjustments, if the players just aren't taking to the adjustments, but clearly they're not making adjustments that are successful for what they're doing in the second halves of games. And that's coaching, Jerry. That's not on the players. That's not on anything other than the coaching. And so if you're not making the adjustments, that circles back to the coaching staff is inadequate.
Yeah, no, there's so many problems, man. There's just so many problems, and I'm not looking forward to watching them play. I'm just not. Like, obviously we're gonna watch. It's not like we're not gonna watch. You're gonna go to all the games. That's what you do. But like, it's just so frustrating that I'm at the point now where I'm like, how can I get up for a game? How?
Right.
How? It's just so hard to believe in them. And then I want to believe in them so bad. And listen, I have a job that all my takes are exposed. All my takes are on camera. And for years, I've been getting laughed at as the guy who believes in the Steelers for years, that when they make the playoffs, I'm like, yeah, they're going to win this fucking game. They're going to beat this team. They're going to shock the world. They never do. And then the week that I am out on them, they fucking just flip a switch. And that's what's gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen. I want it to happen, but what's gonna happen is we bash them for 14 minutes. They're gonna come out and beat the Colts by a touchdown, and then everybody is gonna be like, "Oh, look at how dumb Jerry is. Look at dumb Jerry. Dumb Jerry. He does it every year." I hope that's the case. I do, but it's like I do it to myself every year.
I fucking hope that's the case. I want to say one more stat, and then we'll start to move into the Colts talk. But 47% of the points the Steelers have given up this year have come in the fourth quarter. 47%.
Wow.
They're not getting better. They're getting outcoached later into games.
Wow.
That is, to me, that is like the nail in the coffin for people that want to defend Mike Tomlin. And there's still a pile of Tomlin, defenders and loyalists. They still exist, as crazy as it is. These people still fucking exist. They probably still believe in Santa Claus at this point. That's how I feel about it. There's no way you can still believe he's a great coach when all these numbers every year are coming out and we're getting worse. Defense is getting worse. We're not getting better. But to go through into the fourth quarter, 50% of your points being scored against you in the fourth quarter, that's damning. I mean, that just goes to show the other teams are making the correct adjustments because they know we're not, and then they're just exposing us as the game carries on. It's that to me is one of those things, man. If Mike Tomlin is as good of a defensive coach, if he sees the game, as great as everybody thinks he does as a defensive mind, there's no way you should be giving up half of your points in one quarter, and it's the fourth quarter. That just goes to show he's getting out coached.
Yeah.
That's a nail in the coffin.
Yeah, he's been getting out coached for years. We know
Many fucking years. And this week going into this game against Shane Steichen.
That's my biggest worry. Is Steichen is he might abuse this team, man. He might expose them more than they've ever been exposed this year, and that's crazy because Jordan Love just threw for 360 on us.
Yeah, Jerry. I mean, the Steelers have never given up more yards in back-to-back games since the early '90s. I saw a stat that was like that. So I mean, we're historically bad, and the Colts are historically good. The 2025 Indianapolis Colts offense has the 8th highest success rate of any team this century. The 8th most successful team offensively this century.
And what's crazy? It's like they've played almost half a season now. Mm-hmm. It's not like this is a stat through 2-3 games, 4 games. They've almost played a half a season now, so they're fucking legit, dude. They're legit.
They're a wagon. They're a wagon. We should discuss Steelers trade for Kyle Duggar from New England. So we now come to find out that Deshaun Elliott, while Tomlin said in his presser initially it was week to week, they put him on IR, so he's missing 4 weeks no matter what. So the Steelers make a trade. They send a 6th, and they got Duggar and a 7th back. Now, initially, I was like, damn, that's a lot of money going to Kyle Duggar over the next couple of years. However, New England's eaten a portion of his salary this year, including roster bonuses for next year. So essentially, he's just a rental. We're not tied to him after 2025. It's a rental. I like it. If you're going to lose Elliott, at least they're not punting on the season. You know, as much as we're bitching, and we are bitching, if they would beat New England, I'd be hype as fuck. I don't think they will. I think we get dog walked personally, but I would be hype. But it is nice that they're not throwing in the towel. I like Duggar. He's more of a box safety. You don't want him in coverage. He's more of, bring him into the box, run stopping safety. Ultimately, I would like to see Jabril Peppers and Kyle Duggar be your 2 safeties. I don't want to see Chuck Clark ever again. And, Juan Thornhill, I also don't want to see Juan Thornhill out there. If we can take both safeties from New England, I'm fine. Bring them in. I would much rather see that be the case. Let's just get right into the stats, Jerry. The Steelers' defensive stats entering Week 9. They're 30th in yards per game defensively. They're 22nd in points per game against them, 24th in yards per play, 24th in third downs, 31st in first downs given up per game. They're giving up 23 first downs a game. That's fucking crazy. That's a wild stat. Second from dead last. They're 24th in yards per pass at 7. They're 17th in yards per rush, 22nd. Overall, the Steelers are the 30th defense in football. They're the 30th defense in football. That is so
shame on the guys in camp who said this was the best defense they might have ever seen. Shame on those guys. Shame on those guys. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Jerry, Tomlin's defense is worse than Matt Canada's offense was.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Statistically, it is. Matt Canada's offense, the year that we bagged him, total yards 25th. Total yards for the Steelers defense this year 30th. We gave up 38 points per game. The Steelers defense this year is 22nd. Pass yards per game, we were 25th with Matt Canada. Passing yards under Mike Tomlin's defense this year, 32nd in football. Rushing yards per game, we were 13th under Matt Canada. Rushing yards per game against this year with Steelers defense 18th. It is a worse overall product than Matt Canada's offense was. And remember how many people were chanting, we need to move on from Canada. Yet Tomlin's defense, the almighty, the sorcerer, the man who's been a head coach for fucking ever, who's won 4 playoff games in 19 seasons, his defense is worse than Matt Canada's offense was.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's not crazy. It is unacceptable.
Yeah.
It is unacceptable. Mr. Rooney has got to fucking figure something out. And a couple of years ago, Jerry, I said Mr. Rooney might be the worst owner that the Steelers have had. He is the worst owner that the Steelers have had. He is. He's accomplished nothing under his tenure. The Steelers have not won a playoff game under his reign. They've held on to coaches way too fucking long.
Yeah.
They're getting worse. They're not getting better. They've held on to Tomlin for way, way too long at this point. He is the worst owner that the Steelers have had as far as Rooney is concerned.
No, 100%. Yeah, he's done nothing. You're right. He's done absolutely nothing. And also, what are we doing with this field, man? This field is horrible.
Great.
This field is so bad.
You know what's wild? Rodgers even said, he's like, the field was just slightly better this week for Boswell. It's they can't do it. I mean, it's
sad, man. It's sad.
That's how down bad we are. The field, everything about the team sucks right now except for the offense. Everything about the team sucks. The offense and Chris Boswell. That's it. That's all we have, Jerry.
That's it.
One thing I will say going into this Colts game, other than Shane Steichen just destroys Tomlin. He destroyed him when he was with Philly. He destroyed him. He destroys him, the last 2 times we've played the Colts. I think he's going to destroy him again. However, Lou Anarumo is the Colts defensive coordinator. He was also the Bengals defensive coordinator for a few years, and the Steelers dominate him. So if there is any solace, it's that we do know Lou Anarumo's defenses, and we play well against Lou Anarumo's defenses. So I think it's going to be a shootout. I would almost guarantee you it is a shootout. Some of the things that the Colts do well, they're the number 1 team on third down. in conversions, and the Steelers rank 27th in third down defense. A 3rd and 7 or more, they give up a first down 40% of the time. On 3rd and long, they're giving up a first down 40% of the time.
I wonder what the league average for that is.
I don't have that number, but 3rd and 7.
It's got to be in the. It's got to be in the 20s.
What's up, guys? Just want to take a quick break to shout out our friends at Pond Lee Hockey, the new official sponsor of the Steel Here podcast. And they want to let you know that when life hits you hard, you need a team that fights for you just as hard as your favorite players. That's Pond Lee Hockey, Pittsburgh's largest work injury firm. They specialize in winning injury and workers' compensation cases and are ready to go to battle for every dollar you deserve. From start to finish, they're with you every step of the way. And the first step, a free consultation. No strings, just answers. If you've been hurt at work or in an accident, call Pond Lee Hockey today. Now let's get back to the episode. You would think that pass rush would be eating teams alive at 3rd and 7, and it's not, because it doesn't have to.
Yeah.
The average depth of target against the Steelers on 3rd down is 3 yards. That means teams are literally snapping the ball 2 steps back, bang, ding, he's gone.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. The Colts are a wagon, Jerry. They can beat you with Jonathan Taylor. He's having an historic season. I mean, historic. He's on.
He's already gotten more touchdowns this year than Barkley had last year.
Yeah, he is. He has more touchdowns than 27 NFL teams have combined rushing. So you're talking 27 teams in the NFL combined rushing. He has more touchdowns than they do.
That's crazy.
He's Danny Dimes is lights out. They can beat you deep. Tyler Warren, tight end, can destroy you. You know, it's if we can't stop them over the middle of the field, this could get out of hand. This could get out of hand. I wouldn't even be shocked if you heard Fire Tomlin chants at Heinz Field.
That's what I don't understand about that. What kind of line is Vegas giving out for this game? 3 points is like, what the hell kind of line is that?
Jerry, that's a wild. It almost makes me uncomfortable, that line. I figured this would be 6.5. I figured this would be a 6.5 type of game.
Me too. 6.5, 7.5, something like that.
Recapping the betting last week, I took Rodgers over 220 passing yards. He finished with 219.
Oh, gosh.
290 fucking yards.
God damn it.
Lost that bet. I'm now 3-5 on the season. Jerry took DK anytime touchdown. He hit it. So he is 4-5 on the season. The spread this week on the DraftKings Sportsbook is the Steelers +3, +140 on the money line. The over-under is 50.5. Jerry, you get 2 bets. I get 1 bet. What are your 2 bets this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Jalen Warren anytime touchdown score, and I'm also gonna take whatever DK's. I don't have it in front of me right now, but DK's over on yards, whatever -110 is, should be somewhere around the 50s, 60s, somewhere around there, I would assume.
Yards. Yeah, I have it up. So
somewhere between 50 and 60, I'd assume.
All right, DK Metcalf is -108 at 60+.
Okay, yeah, so I'll take that. DK 60+, and Jalen Warren anytime touchdown score. Those are my 2 bets.
I'm taking Rodgers 2+ touchdowns. I think this is ultimately going to be a shootout. I think the Colts do what they want at will. Ultimately, I think the Steelers will abandon the run at some point in the game just because I think it can get out of hand. This is going to be a shootout as far as if we're going to be in it at all. It's going to come down to Rodgers slinging it. 2+ touchdowns. I think that's fair. Rodgers is really actually playing great quarterback play so far this year for us. It's prediction time, Jerry. What do you think the prediction is going to look like for Sunday?
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44. This is a first look at the current industry-leading AI app builder, and you wouldn't believe the kind of apps that people are creating. Smart nutrition apps, inventory trackers, onboarding tools, you name it. And if the only thing stopping me from making the app is the idea, why not build an app that gives me endless app ideas? So let's make it. Pro tip, I draft the full...
I have confidence in Will Howard.
I think it's going to be,
I think he could get there.
I'm going to do 31-21 Colts.
I'm going 34-20, 34-24 Colts. I don't know that either of us have ever chosen against the Steelers like this, especially not in blowout fashion. That's just really where I'm at with it. I'm not going to talk myself into it anymore. If they win the game, by all means, Sherry, we'll record Sunday night, and it's going to be fucking optimism through the roof, and that's fine. That is fine. But I told you last week I'm going to need to see it, and now I'm really going to fucking need to see it. Because it's getting to a point where if they lose this game, they're still in first place in the AFC North. That's how bad the AFC North is. They could somehow sneak into the playoffs with a 9-8 record and win the division. That is how sad the AFC North is.
Yeah.
But it's almost getting to a point, Jerry, if we really, really, really want to see a difference, if they would go on a run and just get throttled, through this gauntlet,
Oh, yeah.
maybe that's what it takes to get fucking Mike Tomlin out of here.
It's crazy because they could have easily lost that Jets game. They could have easily lost that Patriots game. I mean, you're looking at a team right now, they could have 5-6 losses right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A couple plays away from 5 or 6 losses.
And so that's why I'm never going to cheer against them, ever. I'll never cheer against them.
No, of course. I'm not like that. No.
But if we go on a run of getting our fucking dicks beat in, I'm also not going to be upset about that either. The more heat we turn up on Mike Tomlin, the better it is going to be. We truly want to be a different team. We want to go a different direction. We want to look like a different product on the field. It starts with him. And I saw a lot of the beat writers for the Steelers, and this will be the last point we make because Jerry has a heart out. But a lot of the beat writers for the Steelers love to make this comment that, oh, it's not Mike Tomlin calling the defense on Sundays. And even today, I was just listening right before we recorded that Terrell Austin says, no, it's been the way that it's been since I've been here. I call the defenses. If Mike wants to call the defenses, he does, but it starts with me calling the defenses. And all these beat writers are like, it's not Tomlin that's calling the defenses. It's Terrell Austin. It's Mike Tomlin's defense, though. It's the players Mike Tomlin brought in. It is his scheme. It is what he wants to run. It is what he builds throughout the week. It is what he approves. If he
The
didn't
game
like
plan,
the
he's
calls,
part of the
right.
game plan every week.
Jerry, if he didn't like the calls, how hard would it be? Pull your little fucking mic down and say, no, let's run this. So I'm done. I'm done moving the target to the scapegoats. I've been done with it. We need to fucking be honest about it. It is all Mike Tomlin's product that we're watching. I don't care who the fuck calls it. When Tomlin did call it during Keith Butler, it sucked. When he called it at the last years of Dick LeBeau, it sucked. If he's not calling it this year, it sucks because he is the common denominator. As long as Mike Tomlin is the head coach of the Steelers, this defense will underachieve. And you've heard how many countless players over the last few years say the Steelers defense is easy to play against. It doesn't change. It is obvious.
Multiple, not just one, not just two, multiple, man.
Everybody
multiple.
knows, Jerry. Everybody fucking knows.
Yeah.
So it's time to stop moving the goalposts here and defending Mike Tomlin. It is time that we be honest. They will not improve until Mike Tomlin is gone. Appreciate you guys. Jerry.
No, I agree.
Shout out the fans for the last episode. The views, Jerry, the most
you guys
views
crushed
you and I
it.
ever had.
Yeah, crushed it. That was a great episode. Appreciate the fans who watched. That was the biggest episode we ever did. And then we've had some really well-known players on the pod, So
Right.
that was big. That was big.
Yeah, that was huge. We appreciate you guys. Honestly, the show is obviously gaining steam. Share it where you find it. We gained another 100 subs just between last episode and this episode. We're closing in on 20,000 subs, Jerry, which is awesome to fucking say. Appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, continue to comment. I fucking love reading the comments on there, so appreciate that. We will record again. Luckily, it is a 1 o'clock game, so we'll be able to record Sunday night after the game. We'll get that out Monday morning to you guys. And here's to hoping for a fucking win. Here's to hoping that we're not bitching and that we can actually turn this thing around and magically it clicks. I don't think it will, but here's to hoping that it does.
Yeah, hope so too. I don't think it does either, but hope so.
Hell yeah.
We're here. We're still here.
Still here.
I took control, went solo, and built my own online night.
These niggas is not happy.
Vegas for the weekend with my son, celebrating Halloween with him. I was not with him for the game portion, so don't worry. I'm not ignoring him to go live with you guys. But just wrapped up watching the Lakers beat the Memphis Grizzlies 117-112 to improve to 4-2 and 1-0 in NBA Cup group play. In Luka Doncic's return, he dropped 44 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. He has now scored 43 or more points in all 3 games that he has played this season. Just a ridiculous, remarkable, incredible, impressive offensive start to the season from Luka. That is MVP level stuff. That is stuff that we have not seen since Michael Jordan in the 80s and Wilt Chamberlain in the 60s in terms of cumulative points to start a season. So that is always great company. But before we get started, you guys know the drill. For those watching on YouTube, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on channel notifications, and like and comment on this video. It's on the road to 50K subscribers by the end of 2025. And for those listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice, please be sure to follow, download, and leave a 5-star review. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the Late Night Gang. Michael D, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Fang Charlie is in LA. Shout out to Fang. And he also asked if I'm in Vegas. I did end up coming out to Vegas, but I did not have any time to do anything else. B0 says I played well tonight. Thank you. Appreciate you all. And a quick aside here. I know several of you had reached out about the playback. I was trying to link my League Pass account. A little secret between us. I was gifted a League Pass by the NBA, and so I'm not quite sure if maybe there's a regulation or a limitation with that linking to playback. So I got to figure that out, and then if that's the case, then I probably just have to buy it, just like everybody else. But one of the perks of covering the NBA is getting League Pass, depending on who you know, and I've had the benefit of having free League Pass for the last few years. Hope I didn't get in trouble by just sharing that. But with all that said, let's get into the game here. So Lakers win 117-112. Again, improved to 4-2 overall, 2-1 with Luka. They are 2-1 without him, and 1-0 in group play in the NBA Cup. An overarching thought, we have to start with Luka Doncic. Another masterful performance, and this is now 5 out of 6 games in which a Laker has scored 40 or more points. And the one game that a Laker did not score 40 or more was the game against the Timberwolves, where Austin had 28, 16 assists, and a game-winning floater. So I think that makes up for the lack of 40 points, like the season high in assists, tied his career high, but season high for a Laker this year is 16. So they've had at least one player explode for a ridiculous stat line, and tonight it was Luka Doncic, who did not miss a beat in his return, despite missing almost a week of basketball, including 3 games. 44 points, 14 of 27 shooting, 52% overall, 6 of 15 on threes, 40%, 10 of 13 at the free throw line, 77%. And Lakers somehow lost his minutes, -2. This was a weird game on multiple fronts. I will never understand Memphis's rotations. Like, I know that in general they tend to be a deep roster, and their bench played well, particularly in the first half, but they had like a bench lineup out there with 5 minutes left, and this game's still within reach for them. Ja Morant was oddly passive. Jaren Jackson had a nice start, and then he just faded into oblivion. And so I don't know what's happening on the Memphis side, but for the Lakers side, this was again, an incredible performance by Luka, particularly taking control of this game in the second half. LA actually trailed. They had a stretch of about 4.5 minutes in the second quarter where they didn't score, and the ball stagnated. There were a lot of ISO ball, a lot of hero ball, a lot of just high pick and roll into nothing. And then Memphis goes on this 19-0 run to take a commanding lead going into halftime. They're up by 14 at halftime, and it looked like the Lakers were on the ropes a bit there. They come out, I believe, like Luka hits a 3, Austin hits a 3, Luka gets to the free throw line, he gets into a certain rhythm, and he was just awesome in the second half. And really, I felt, rode this team, at least on the offensive end, to victory. But like what Luka's doing right now, like I just had the social clip about, and it was clipped from my episode with Daman earlier in the week talking about Austin. Like, what Austin has been doing is not normal, even for, like, forget him being a number 3 option, scaling up to being a number 2 or a number 1. Just in general, like 51, then 41, then 28 and 16.